Postpartum depression. Everything you need to know. When you have a baby, your whole life changes, so it's not surprising you are likely to experience a wide range of emotions after the birth. As well as the initial joy you feel when your little one comes into the world, fear and sadness are also common emotions that many new parents experience. The problem comes when these emotions start to have a major impact on your life. Postpartum, sometimes called postnatal depression, is something that isn't often talked about, yet it's surprisingly common. It is said to affect over 1 in 8 women and can occur any time in the first year after the birth. What's more surprising is it can also affect men, though that is a little bit more rare. Suffering from postpartum depression is terrifying for new mothers. Having a baby is supposed to be one of the best times of your life, so if you start feeling depressed, it can be extremely confusing. Many sufferers of postpartum depression feel like they must be terrible parents for feeling the way that they do. As the condition isn't something women like to talk about or admit to, it often goes undiagnosed. If you're concerned you may be suffering with postpartum depression, it's important to seek advice from a doctor as soon as possible. In this video, you'll discover everything you need to know about the condition and the types of help available. So what is postpartum depression? Postpartum depression is a type of depression that occurs after giving birth. It can develop gradually over time, or it can present itself immediately after the baby is born. A lot of the time, it's simply explained away as what is commonly referred to as the baby blues. This is something all new mothers experience and includes symptoms such as mood swings and anxiety. However, the difference between postpartum depression and the baby blues is that it lasts a lot longer. The baby blues typically last up to 2 weeks after giving birth, so if your symptoms haven't gone away after a couple of weeks, it's most likely you are suffering with postpartum depression. With postpartum depression, it's pretty hard to pinpoint a specific cause. It is usually brought on by a variety of different factors. These can include hormonal changes, the birth experience, other stressful problems such as money worries, feeling isolated, or existing depression or mental health issues. These can all contribute towards postpartum depression. However, it is important to realize that everybody is different. What triggers postpartum depression in one person may have no effect on another. Whatever the cause, seeking treatment is extremely important. It isn't something that will go away on its own. Like any illness, postpartum depression requires treatment before it goes away. So what are the symptoms you should be looking out for? Let's talk about some of the most common signs and symptoms, though remember that these can start anywhere up to a year after the birth, such as persistent low mood and sad feeling, lack of energy, difficulty bonding with your baby, isolating yourself from others, loss of interest in the world around you, inability to enjoy the things you usually do, and frightening thoughts such as thinking about hurting your baby. The severity of these symptoms will vary, and some can be difficult to associate with postpartum depression, such as lack of energy. As a new mother, a lack of energy and trouble sleeping at night is something that naturally occurs anyway, so you'll need to look out for the other symptoms too, in order to determine whether it is likely to be postpartum depression. If you experienced a fairly traumatic birth, there is a chance that the symptoms you are now experiencing relate to post-traumatic stress disorder rather than postpartum depression. The two conditions do have similar signs and symptoms, but they are different. With post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, you'll likely also experience symptoms such as flashbacks to the birth and increased anxiety. It is usually diagnosed after 4 weeks if the symptoms haven't disappeared. Just like postpartum depression, if left untreated, it can prove very difficult to live with and will affect all aspects of your life. So how is postpartum depression treated? Treatment will very much depend upon the severity of the depression. First and foremost, you need to get a professional diagnosis. Even if the symptoms you're feeling were not just mentioned, you know your own body and mind, so if you think something is wrong, it is worth having it checked out. Most commonly, the condition is treated with a mixture of self-help techniques and psychological therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy has proven very successful in the treatment of postpartum depression. If that alone doesn't help, or if the depression is severe, antidepressants may be prescribed. In terms of self-help techniques, healthy eating is encouraged, exercising often and getting as much rest as possible will help. Of course, you can't do this without support. One of the most important pieces of advice you'll be given is to accept support from friends, family, and professionals. This makes a tremendous amount of difference to your recovery. There are even online support groups you can sign up to. Many new moms find it hard to talk about how they feel to the people close to them. Therefore, forums and support groups can prove invaluable, providing a place for them to feel safe opening up about their feelings. If you're interested in joining a postpartum depression support group, there's one called Panda, which is an excellent place to start. Not only do they have a fantastic list of local support groups, but they have a lot of in-depth information regarding the condition on their website too. And despite being based in Australia, it can still be helpful for those living elsewhere. Overall, postpartum depression is a lot more common than you might think, and there's no shame in admitting that you are suffering from it. There's a lot of support out there, and compared to a decade ago, there's a lot more understanding and a lot less stigma involved. Never be afraid to seek out the help you need. That's all for this video. If you found this video helpful, we'd really appreciate it if you'd share this video with someone else who you think would benefit from knowing this information, as well as hopping on over to our website and signing up for our email newsletter by clicking the link in the description. By signing up, you'll not only be the first to hear about our new releases, but you also get exclusive goodies that are only given to our email subscribers. Finally, the next time you're looking to buy baby products, I encourage you to take a look at what we have available. Let me tell you, we aren't just out to make a profit, and pride ourselves on our high-quality products and excellent service. All Starlight baby products are laboratory tested to ensure they are 100% safe for you and your baby, which unfortunately isn't something every company can say. On top of that, we donate 10% of our profits to children's charities and hope to increase this as Starlight Baby continues to grow. Therefore, your support goes a long way to helping a lot of people. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and here's to making a positive difference in the lives of our children and the world as a whole.